What is up, guys? Jason up with the New 80's Revolution. Happy and excited to be back with Vintage Horror Night on the Vintage Horror Show. That's right, it's all going down tonight. Tonight, we've got the blank VHS, sold as blank. That's how you got to look those up on eBay, ladies and gentlemen. Sold as blank VHS tapes with extra special free gift. All the stuff that's on it, right? Because you can't sell stuff taped off TV on eBay for too long anyway without getting caught. So this is how you look these up. You look them up as sold as blank or blank VHS 80s TV shows. It'll come up. You know, that's kind of how you got to find these. But anyway, we're going to kick off the restart of the Vintage Horror Show, right? VHS, the Vintage Horror Night. We're going to watch a made-from-home, homebrew, 80s style. We're going to check out an episode of Amazing Stories, which I'm excited about. Amazing Stories was a, like a weekly Twilight Zone style show. What else? Tales from the Dark Side type show, Freddy's Nightmares type show, that kind of thing, where each week was just a new episode. Amazing Stories, however, is not always horror-based. Sometimes it's fantasy, it's sci-fi, it's thrillers, it's amazing stories. And I have no idea what episode is on Amazing Stories, but we're going to find out. Before then, we're going to go upstairs, sit at the kitchen counter, and have a nice 80s throwback fast food meal. That's right, I'm not cooking tonight, but that's okay. That's all the better. We're going to sit down, and we're going to talk about, and we're going to share, and eat, and enjoy an old school throwback 80s fast food meal. Nothing spectacular, something you can probably, guess. But we're going to do that tonight. And that's going to be pretty awesome. And all of that is coming up now on the Vintage Horror Show.
The new 80s revolution. Presents VHS Vintage Horror Show. Feast the food, fear the horror. The horror of a man cooking all by himself. Jason will prepare a delicious man meal. Not that Jason. And review classic horror films. Some awesome, some cheesy, some you will think, how did this even get made? Hosted by Jason Nunn. And now, directly from the cave, the one and the only Jason Nunn.
All right, guys, I am here now. Not upstairs in the kitchen. No, we're not cooking tonight. We are not cooking, indeed. Tonight is a special meal. And I probably alternate between cooking and just getting some classic 80s goodness to go along with the classic Vintage Horror Night. So, I thought, what is the most classic fast food a fella can get? Besides beer. The most classic fast food in my life, of course, is and was McDonald's. And the most classic McDonald's sandwich is and was the Big Mac. So, we are going to enjoy a delicious Big Mac tonight with the classic medium fries. You got to get your You got to get your ketchup, of course, to go on those fries. Oh yeah, you got to shake that water up first, or else you get water ketchup. That's right. This isn't the Heinz. This isn't the good stuff. This is the Aldi's special. All right, so we've got our Big Mac that never, ever, ever looks like the Big Mac from the commercial. That is not a TV ready Big Mac, ladies and gentlemen. We've got our Coke with no ice. That's how I do it. No ice in the Coke. The Coke comes out of the machine ice cold, ladies and gentlemen. So here's a little hack. Here's a little secret. No ice in your McDonald's Coke gives you an actual full-size drink. If you're like me, I have to drink the entire time I'm eating. I cannot eat without beverage. So you got to get the Coke with no ice. Here's our Big Mac, our staple. Now, I will eat this the way it's meant to be eaten, but I usually take out the middle bread. I don't, I appreciate the Big Mac's lineage, its history. I never understood the third bun. Doesn't add to the sandwich. It just adds more bread. And I'm not a bread guy. So we're going to go in with the classic poorly built, slightly squished Big Mac. Just as good as it's ever been. There was some talk on the channel about fast food tasting different. When I asked for ideas about whatever happened to show ideas, people said, what about the Big Mac? Or what about fast food tasting different? I was like, I don't know if I've experienced that. I don't know if I have. I mean, I certainly don't remember the Big Mac tasting any different. I mean, has the taste changed for you? I don't know. It hasn't changed for me. Fries are still the same, but have to be enjoyed with ketchup. And sometimes, just to get crazy, sometimes I mix ketchup and mayonnaise with my fries. It's good. So very good. Ice cold soda. Ice cold beer. Warm Big Mac. There she is. Yeah, I don't remember it being different. I don't remember it being bigger. I think for a while they had a promotion where you would get like a quarter pounder Big Mac. Where the patties were bigger. This is fine. Big Mac and fries on classic 80's vintage horror night. McDonald's is, I mean, I already did the McDonald's show for you guys. Memories of McDonald's. So I don't need to get into all that again. But, I don't know. I still eat McDonald's pretty, I mean, you can't say regularly. Maybe once a week on average. Maybe once a week on average. Maybe for breakfast sometimes we get the hotcakes and the eggs and all that for breakfast. That's always, good, but a poor investment. I mean, $7 for a spoonful of scrambled eggs and like 2 microwaved pancakes is not, it's not the most economical thing. Good stuff, guys. McDonald's Big Mac. I told the story of how when I was a kid, there was a moment in time when I graduated from the Happy Meal to the Big Mac. It was more of a, I'm not a kid anymore. I don't want the Happy Meal. You know, I don't want the cheeseburger. I was insulting to my age and my growth. I wanted to join the ranks of the adults. I wanted the adult sandwich. So I would make a fuss when we were going to McDonald's because I had to have the Big Mac. Kids are so annoying. I was one of them. And Liam's doing that now. Liam is like, I want my own fish fry. I want 2 chicken sandwiches. 3 chicken sandwiches. He's coming of age, right? So coming up, we've got amazing stories. The episode, I assume. We'll see. Might be in for some surprises on the amazing stories tonight. We're going to do the same thing with the Saturday Morning Super Show. We're going to come down in our jammies. We're going to eat some breakfast food together. And then we're going to watch a cartoon. The way it used to be. The old school way. Maybe we'll include the kids. Maybe the kids will come down. I mean, what's cartoons without kids? So maybe we'll bring both these little nuggets down here. Watch some cartoons with them. Talk about the old days. Introduce them to some Transformers maybe. Who knows? But that's going to come next Saturday on the Saturday Morning Super Show. And then preceding this episode, preceding the Vintage Horror Night, will be whatever happened to Saturday Morning Cartoons. And that'll get you guys pumped up for the Saturday Morning Super Show. So I'm going to finish this. I'm going to crush this. And some beers. Then I'm going to jump on that tube and watch some amazing stories. So while I'm doing this, you guys go get yourself something to eat and settle in for amazing stories on the Vintage Horror Night. What a meal. What a meal. I just love that flavor of the Big Mac. The unmistakable flavor of the Big Mac. Don't tell me about a blind taste test with burgers, right? You're not going to set the Whopper and the Big Mac side by side and blindfold somebody and have them try to pick which is which. It's, come on, it's obvious. But yeah, the Whopper, or the Big Mac, actually, Whopper's okay. Whopper's okay. But the Big Mac is when you want to go back in time, when you want to catch that flavor, you just get you some Big Mac and you enjoy a trip back to your childhood. I told you the story upstairs about how I had to have a Big Mac probably earlier than I should in life. Because I was a dumb kid and I was like, I'm getting older. I don't want a cheeseburger Happy Meal, anymore. I want the biggest burger on the menu, right? Because I'm old. I'm 7. I'm 8. And actually Liam does that now. Liam freaked out the other night when we brought home fish fries and he had to share one with his brother. Lost his mind. Totally lost his marbles. I want my own fish fry! And I was like, been there, man. I've been there. So anyway, let's get this party started. Let's see what we got here. We're gonna, maybe I'll flip you around a little bit. Hang tight. I'm gonna. Well, I don't know. Can you see? I'm gonna do some adjusting here. There you go. You can kind of see what's going on there. You can't watch this with me anyway. Thank you very much, YouTube and copyright laws. But I have no idea where anything is at on this tape. The tape is rewinded. Thank you. They were kind. You can see on the label, or maybe you can't see, we've got a 2020 airplane computer, it says. I don't know if, I don't know what that means. I think it's a story on 2020 about airplane computers, maybe. And then we have amazing stories, in quotation marks. And then we have something called Movie 2 right next to it. Now, I think this is an episode of Amazing Stories. I also think that there was an Amazing Stories, the movie. Maybe. So this might be Amazing Stories, the movie, and I'll be sitting down here a lot longer than I thought I was. But let's check it out. Let's, hang on. Let's get the $5 dollar store universal remote. And turn on our TV. Our VCR is already on. Let's wait for it to warm up. All right, it's warmed up, and it's already set to VCR. All right, so let's throw in the tape, and let's make sure we find our. There we go. All right. Let's see what we got. I gotta press play.
I love it.
A country music sensation.
All right, well, let's fast forward that. Okay, here's the 2020. Here's the 2020 episode. Let's check the date on this.
Plus, he ran for president by opposing the Vietnam War. Whatever happened to Eugene McCarthy?
I don't know.
Those stories tonight, November 30th, 1990.
November 30th, 1990, ladies and gentlemen. So we're out of the 80s. We're out of the 80s. November 1990 is when this tape is from. So it looks like the first thing on the tape is 2020. And then after that, we're gonna watch our Amazing Stories episode. So hang tight. Let me fast forward it to Amazing Stories. Get it all ready for you. I'll be right back. All right, guys. That's the surprise with VHS tapes. I guess if I had read the VHS label and put it all together in my head, it is actually Amazing Stories, the movie, Part 2. You see, that's why it said Amazing Stories Movie 2. That, if we're labeling our VHS tapes, why do we care if other people are going to be able to figure them out? We don't, right? It's for us. We didn't know that this technology was going to be, forgotten. We figured these movies would be, lining our walls for the rest of our lives. So we didn't have to write Amazing Stories, the movie, Part 2. No, we didn't have to do that. We could write Amazing Stories, Movie 2. So anyway, we're going to watch Amazing Stories, the movie 2. So I'm going to be down here longer than I thought. It is, I believe, it's an anthology. I believe there's maybe 3 Amazing Stories. So basically 3 episodes of the TV show chunked into one movie. And I fast forwarded a little bit too much as I was getting to this, and it looks like Santa Claus is involved. So if the tape is in sequence, the 2020 episode was 1990, November 1990. So I'm guessing that this is a Christmas episode or a Christmas one of the. It doesn't matter. Christmas in March. That's how I do it anyway. So I believe the first anthology portion is going to be about Santa Claus. And now I'm going to settle down here for like an hour and a half when I didn't know that was happening. But that's okay. That's okay. We're going to do it. We're going to watch Amazing Stories, the movie 2, right here on the Vintage Horror Night. All right, so that was great. What I'm learning is that Amazing Stories 2, the movie, or Amazing Stories, the movie 2, is actually a collection of 4 episodes from the original TV series, which aired from 1985 to 1987. So there's actually 4 shorts on this anthology movie. The first one was called Santa, and it was awesome. So, this is going to contain spoilers, ladies and gentlemen. So if you do not want to ruin Amazing Stories, the movie 2 for you, skip forward. But the Santa is about, Santa and Mrs. Claus are hanging out, and Santa's getting ready for Christmas Eve, and he's a little disgruntled about, the spirit of Christmas and the modernization of the world. And so he enters a home of a little boy, and they have this elaborate alarm system, right? This is all of what Santa's complaining about. And his alarm goes off, and Santa gets arrested for breaking and entering. And he's thrown in a paddy wagon with 3 other Santas who were just, drunken bums who were picked up for loitering and public intoxication and whatnot. So the real Santa is tossed in the back of the van with the other Santas. And, the angry sheriff doesn't want to, he hates Christmas, and he has a reason why he hates Christmas. He didn't get the present that he wanted as a little boy. And then the deputy is kind of like, wow, something's up with this guy. I think, it might be. He doesn't have fingerprints. When they go to fingerprint Santa, he has no fingerprints. Santa's thrown in the slammer, and little Tommy, breaks him out. Little Joey, maybe. Little Timmy's house was the one that Santa got arrested in while dropping off presents. So little Timmy saw Santa, saw him get carted off to jail, and then decided to help bust him out by putting a chain around the jail bar windows and having the reindeer rip the window out and the whole wall, actually. And Santa and all the bums go running. And the police give chase, of course, but Santa gets away as the sleigh takes off. The final scene, we have a present dropping out of the air into the sheriff's lap. The sheriff opens it up, and it's the present that he didn't get as a little boy. And then this big, wonderful smile, comes on the sheriff's face, and then he starts caroling with children who were walking down the street just at that moment. I enjoyed it. I did, despite my sarcasm. I truly enjoyed this episode. I thought it was awesome, and it's just home, man. Watching this show and this movie collection of the shows. It's just like going home. It's good stuff. I love it. There's 3 more to go. I'm going to watch them. You're going to hear my thoughts about them. I'll be right back. All right. Part 2 here of the 4-part anthology is called The Wedding Ring, and it's Rhea Perlman and Danny DeVito. And it's fun. This is silly and fun. So far, this has been a hit, this movie, Amazing Stories 2. This is a made-for-TV movie, and where is it? The network, because this tape is full of commercials too. I wrote down the network. It's a Super 32 WXGZ TV. So for a bonus prize of just me shouting you out, who knows? I don't want to look it up. I could, but that kills the fun of it. Who knows where Super 32 channel Super 32 WXGZ TV? Where is that? Where is that coming out of? So anyway, broke little couple, literally. Danny DeVito, Rhea Perlman, she's a hard-working waitress, and he works at a wax museum. And she's abused at the restaurant, just tossed around, and he's the mean boss of the restaurant, makes her do all the grunt work. And anyway, it's their 10th anniversary. She gets him a present. he doesn't have anything for her. So he goes back to work, and while they're working on a mannequin, he sees a very nice ring, and he takes it. He steals it from the museum, gives it to her. She's all excited. Oh, I forgot to mention, on the night of their 10th anniversary, she gives him a present, and Danny DeVito tries to get a little frisky, and poor Rhea Perlman says, "Nah, I'm just not in the mood." And you got a feeling like that happens pretty regularly. So, Danny DeVito's crushed. Anyway, he gives her the ring. She's excited. She puts it on her finger, and it transforms her, you see, into this passionate, love-making harlot. And there's a couple of, kissy scenes between these two. And because the ring apparently belonged to this Black Widow type of woman who kills all of her mates, and it turns Rhea Perlman into that. And she wants to kill Danny DeVito. She chases him around the room. Finally, he gets the ring off of her, and she returns back to her little meek self. And that's it. But again, pretty fun. I like this. I'm gonna watch the next part, and I'll come back in a minute. All right, third story. A little bit of a downer. Not quality-wise, but, it was sad. It's got the old man from Home Alone. I think this one's called The Train. And Lucas Haas is in it. I don't know, whatever he's done. But, so basically, the old man comes to visit his son and daughter-in-law and grandson. And a new house that the son built, he had it built on land that is very upsetting to the old man, you see, because we find out that back when the old man was a child, there was a train that ran right through that land. And the old man's telling the story to his grandson about how there was a kid who, wanted to hear when the train was coming, so he put his ear to the tracks, and he fell asleep on the tracks. And so as the train came through, the conductor stopped the train, but the force of stopping the train threw it off the tracks so that it didn't hit the little boy. The little boy obviously is the old man. And it killed all the passengers on board. And apparently the old man has been haunted by this ever since. So when he gets to the land, he's walking around, and he's like, he figures out that the train, that this ghost train is going to come back, and it's going to run right through the house that the son built. Well, the old man is basically like on like a suicide mission here, like a death mission, because his plan is to, the train is going to come back, and his plan is to get on the train. Right, to get on the ghost train and right the wrong that he caused all those years ago. And the little boy is like, no, please don't. And the son and daughter-in-law are kind of like, all right, crazy old man. Well, lo and behold, the train comes through, and it's rattling the house and the lights and the whistle and woo-woo and yeah. So the train plows right through the house, and you see all the people on it. They're all, they're ghosts. They're from like 100 years ago. They're dressed. Well, the old man here says goodbye to the grandson and gets on the train, and off he goes. Death. I mean, representing death. I don't know. I don't know how getting on the train. Basically, the old man is saying I was supposed to die that night. And because I didn't, so many other people did. So now I'm going to get on the train. All right. I mean, it was a Danny DeVito, Rhea Perlman, old man from Home Alone, dying on a train in front of his grandson. That's a little rough. Again, so far, great stuff. Amazing Stories 2, the movie, is awesome so far. And I'm going to watch the last clip, and then we're going to wrap this up. All right, guys, the final chapter of this anthology is called The Doll, starring old John Lithgow there. who I love in Twilight Zone the movie, which we will be watching next on Vintage Horror Night, by the way. Just a little spoiler there. Anyway, great. Also great. I mean, this was a really fun little movie that I'm actually glad now that Amazing Stories the movie 2 was just that instead of a one episode, a 23-minute episode, because I don't think this is available on even DVD at this point. I think it's just kind of one of those lost made-for-TV movies. Anyway, The Doll is the title. John Lithgow, a lonely bachelor, buys his niece, goes into a special doll shop, right? A doll shop. He goes in there for many months and just talks to the old man, just to pass time, boredom. Finally, he decides to buy something. He buys a doll. It's a handmade doll. And he falsely assumes that his niece is like 10 years old. She's like 16. He gives her the doll. She doesn't react well to it. He's embarrassed. He takes the doll back home. He's going to return it the next day. But old lonely John Lithgow here, of course, starts to have feelings for the doll, you see. And he goes back to the doll maker, and he finds out that a woman modeled for the doll, and so he wants to go find her and profess his love for her. And when he gets there, she invites him in and informs him that the doll maker also made her a doll of him, right? And so the doll maker is actually this lovely, special matchmaker kind of fella. Okay, good stuff, fine. Honestly, I miss this Amazing Stories show. I didn't watch it much as a kid, but after seeing 4 episodes, because this made-for-TV movie is actually just a collection of 4 episodes. I don't know if this is just the best 4 episodes of the show, but this show's awesome. Amazing Stories is good. It only aired for 1 or 2 seasons, and certainly doesn't get the publicity. Because, we were thinking, Tales of the Dark Side, Freddy's Nightmares, then later on Tales from the Crypt, previously Twilight Zone, and that's how I would describe Amazing Stories. But really, it's very little horror at all. It's just fun. It's mystery. It's intrigue. It's the train story and the doll maker making people fall in love. Great. I think we could use some of that on the television these days. Anyway, that's that. There are commercials, and just because I was like, I kind of fast forwarded through some of the commercials, which is something I never would do. So I'm actually going to go back and watch this tape from start to finish. I won't watch the movie again. I'll probably sit down here. I don't know how much is on here. I don't know if anything more than just the 2020 episode and then this movie's on here. But I'll probably come back down here. I'll watch the 2020 episode for sure. And then I'll watch the commercials that I missed. Because there were some Best Buy commercials that were selling like laptop computers. And this is 1990, I have deducted. So anyway, that's that. That is Vintage Horror Night, ladies and gentlemen. We got to enjoy a classic 80s fast food meal. That's right. The Big Mac, fries, and a Coke. I adultified it. Oh, there that goes. I adultified it a little bit by having a beer. But anyway, thank you all for hanging out with me for Vintage Horror Night, and we will do it again soon. More stuff coming every day on the channel. Keep watching. Tell your friends. Good night now. We're going to watch ourselves a movie. Probably in a minute. Once I find the right channel. Ah, there we are. Get that volume up.
VHS Vintage Horror Show. Feast the food, fear the horror. Created by Jason Neff and hosted by Jason Nutt. Intro and outro credits by Smash Ventura Productions. The new 80's revolution. Like, subscribe, and click the bell. Good night out there, whatever you are.